Good morning and welcome to Brunch with Brian, your daily home investing live stream. Coming to you from the backyard today. It's still very nice out, so we like to be outside when we can be. It's going to get to be maybe too hot in the next couple of months, where it's actually too hot to be outside. So it's a great day, and I'm going to cover today something really important. I talked about this on our Teaching Tuesdays, and everybody's asking for this information. What this is 12 keys to working with your attorney. 12 things you have to teach your attorney so that they do it right. Okay, so attorneys don't necessarily automatically know how we do it. We have special methods, and remember, when we're doing creative financing deals, pretty house deals, which you might know as pretty house deals, these are all it's a little bit different, and it's not like your standard real estate investor transaction. It's not some person finding an ugly house and closing on it with the attorney. It's a little bit, there's a little bit different paperwork. Sometimes the attorney actually has to explain some things. Here's 12 keys to working with your attorney. Okay, before we jump into that, and I'm excited to jump into that because that's some really great training. It's May 5th today, or 6th, and it's actually National Nurses Day. Many of you guys know that our daughter Trinity is training to be a nurse, and she'll be graduating soon. And she's already done, she's had internships in nursing, so that's really a special job caring for people. It's also National Day of Prayer, so say your prayers today. That's always good. And it's also No Diet Day today. So there was, we all want to, this is a very tricky area for everybody. Nobody's really totally happy with their body, what kind of shape they're in. And so yes, you definitely want to accept your body and love your body, even if you're not in perfect shape. But, you want to take care of yourself too. So I always go back and forth on this. Yes, I want everybody to accept their body and love their body and, realize everything your body does for you, which is amazing. And your body, you couldn't do anything without it. So, we should always accept and love our bodies. But, I'm always the kind of person who strives to be better but really, that's habits. I mean, really, how you set up your habits is a big thing. I don't want to go into that more because I want to talk to a lawyer about this lawyer stuff. The Hindenburg happened today. Oh, the humanity. If you don't know where that phrase comes from, oh, the humanity, it was from a radio announcer covering the landing, the mooring of the Hindenburg, and it caught fire and blew up. The finale of Friends was today in 2004. I just want to say a couple of things that were cool. In 1994, they opened the Channel, which we have actually gone through. And how long is that? Does anybody know how long the Channel is? And the Channel is an underground tunnel. It boggles the mind to think of the engineering wherewithal and understanding capacity to build a tunnel under the ocean between England and France. So this tunnel actually connects England with France, and it's called the Channel, and it's under the ocean, which is so cool. Does anybody know how long it is? Did you guys guess? It's actually about 31 miles. 31 miles of tunnel dug under the ocean. That is pretty amazing. Just removing all that dirt and rock, and wow, amazing. So Willie Mays is 90 today. Did you know Willie Mays is still alive? Willie Mays. Yeah, say it ain't so. Willie Mays, 90 years old today. George Clooney is 60 years old today. 60 years old. Orson Welles' birthday is today. You know what's sad? Orson Welles made some of the greatest movies of all time. He died when he was just 70 years old, and he died broke. And never made a movie that really made any money. Unfortunately, that's really sad. And Freud's birthday is today. So let's get into this attorney stuff. All right, you know what? Let's do our deep breathing right now. Then we'll do the attorney stuff. Okay, ready? Let's do our deep breathing, energizing ourselves, talking about your body today. Appreciate your body. And deep breathing makes your body feel good. Let's do deep breathing. Okay. Hi, you gonna join us? Are you gonna go and do deep breathing with us? Willow, what a cute girl. Okay, here we go. Ready? Deep breath in. Hold it a sec and let it out. Okay, another one in. Hold it a little bit and always with a big smile. Let it down. Relax your shoulders and your neck. Neck rolls, shoulder rolls. I used to talk about those all the time. Deep breath in. One more. Hold it a sec and big smile and all right, awesome. Let it go. That energizes your body, makes your body feel good. All right, so 12 lessons. These are our 12 keys for working with attorneys, and I'm going to go fast. This could be a whole hour long by itself, and I might actually do a Teaching Tuesday and go more in depth. But I just want you to write these down quick so that when you're working with an attorney, these are things I want you to actually work out in the first meeting with them or the first time they're doing a signing with you. I want you to make sure to get all this stuff worked out. All right, so the first thing is, however you're taking possession. You got to teach your attorney. If you're doing it through land trusts, there's a lot of attorneys who are okay with doing it that way, but they're not familiar with land trusts and they've never done a deal that way. And so I'm not saying screen them out if they aren't familiar with land trusts, but what you got to do? What you got to do is you got to send them your land trust agreement. Okay, just make sure you send them your land trust agreement on the Gold Club or Ask Us. It's a very simple agreement, and you would send that to the attorney. And once they understand it, if you're buying through a trust. Now, if you're buying through an LLC, they shouldn't have any trouble with that. Number two, I don't want you to pound this too hard, but make sure they understand, attorney-client privilege on my business practices. So, if I'm doing a certain kind of deals and I'm doing creative financing and different kind of deals maybe than other investors that you work with are doing, so I don't want you telling everybody what I'm doing. So we have some attorney-client privilege here. So, don't make a big point about it. Don't, drill it into them, but I don't want them talking about what you're doing to all their other clients. And if they work with a bunch of investors, this stuff gets around. Okay, so just make sure you just let them know that don't tell everybody what I'm doing. But number three, here's this kind of flip side of that. I want you to tell them to tell everybody about you. Tell everybody who might be somebody that you could work with. I want referrals from your attorney. I want your attorney to send you referrals. Other investors who, might match up with you and might have properties to sell, any other person that they know in their practice, anybody who's thinking about buying or selling a house, they should be sending the name to you. So ask for referrals right on number three and tell them. Different attorneys may want to work that differently in terms of how they actually get paid, but you can always just pay them for 2 hours of their time. What do you bill per hour? Okay, let's meet for 2 hours or whatever, okay? Okay, number four, when they tell people about you, or if they have signings with your sellers and buyers, and this happens a lot, the sellers or buyers, especially when you're doing these deals virtually, you may be doing these deals somewhere in Kentucky and you're not there, and the attorney is in this town and they're in the town, but you never met the attorney personally. And so what is the attorney going to say about you? So what you do is you make sure you send your real estate investor bio, which I've talked about 100,000 times, your prepared little 3 to 5 line explanation of who you are and why you're credible and why you're likable. Send that to your attorney. If people ask about you, tell them just stick to that. It gives you a good thing to say. Here's what I know about this person. Bang, just tell them the bio. This is all authorized, and then they don't end up saying, well, there's somebody from another state, they're coming in, they called me, and I don't know exactly what they're doing, but no. Just if anybody asks who I am or what they know about me, bam, here's your bio. Okay, that's why you got to have that bio, because that's how you answer questions. Okay, so number 5 is get your clients in fast. Just tell them that, I know time is of an essence in most real estate deals, but really time is of an essence on these deals. If you got a seller who's agreed to do some kind of seller financing and take payments, you don't want somebody to walk in and say, here, I'll pay you more than what it's worth for cash, and have them renege on your deal. So remember, even though they signed the purchase and sale agreement, that's not done. It's not a done deal until they get in there with the attorney and sign the deed over to you. So get those people in fast. If people call for a signing appointment, or I call you and I ask for a signing appointment, can you get them in fast? And when you're pre-screening to find an attorney, that's one of the questions. Basically, the questions, if you were just cold calling to find an attorney, you'd call an attorney and say, are you a real estate attorney? And they probably are already categorized under that. And so you want a real estate attorney, but remember, there's lots of different real estate attorneys. They do commercial, they do they work with developers, so they all have different kind of capacities. So you want somebody who does closings for private investors, small local investors, somebody who can take a buyer or seller through a set of paperwork. And you're going to ask them how fast they can get your people in and how much they charge, okay? All right, hopefully they don't charge more than $500. $500 is kind of the top of what I want you to pay for these closing appointments, and hopefully they can get people in fast. Like once the title is back, clean, within 24 hours or faster. So really get them in fast. Number 6, I don't want a paralegal doing my closings. Nobody in the office, I want you. Okay, so tell the attorney that you don't want other people in there doing these closings. You're paying him for his expertise. Number 7, we have deal meeting scripts that go over specifically the purchase and sale agreement and the lease with option agreement. Even though you've signed this in the home, you're probably going to have your attorney re-sign this paperwork and go through it again with the customer. So they better know what they're talking about. So we have the scripts, and they can use the exact scripts of what we say when we go through the purchase and sale agreement and the lease with option agreement. That's in our new deal meeting section of our what to say and what to do system. So you can go on ourwolfpack.com and access all the scripts for the deal meeting that go through exactly what to say. Number 8, if you need some kind of specific paperwork and you don't have it, I will provide it, okay? And you can revise it if necessary, but I have all the paperwork I need. Okay, so you guys have all the paperwork you need. Now, if there is something specific to your state, like there's some kind of disclosure in Montana that you got to get signed, obviously that's going to be a standard form that they're going to have, and they're going to get it done for you. But if there's any form that's not a standard form that they think I need this form, just have them call you and you can provide the form in most cases. Now, this is especially true. Okay, these two are kind of related, because number 9 is if there's ever an issue prior to closing, don't call the seller or buyer, call me. Don't call the other party, whether you're dealing with a seller or buyer closing. Call me and we can work it out before we talk to them. Okay, we just had this happen with one of our students where they were, the attorney actually called the seller and said, I don't know how to do this note. Do you guys have an example note? And oh my gosh, he almost messed up the entire deal and blew the deal. So obviously we have notes, sample notes. I can create notes. I used to do all my own notes and deeds and everything in the beginning. So, if you ever need any help on this paperwork, you can call me. I will help you with the paperwork. And I don't want you to blow a deal right at the end when it's just a matter of paperwork, getting the paperwork right. So those two kind of play together. 8, make sure they understand. The problem was this attorney called the seller and said, I need this paperwork on how to create a note. He didn't have a note. He didn't even just have a template that he could create this note off of. So I ended up stepping in and giving him the paperwork. But, it's almost your seller's thinking, what is this, dog and pony show, and they don't know what they're doing. If the attorney looks like he doesn't know what he's doing. And because sometimes you're using attorneys on these virtual deals that you've never used before, that's why all these points are even all that much more important, that you got to cover all these with them on that first talk. 10, notify me when the signing appointment is set and make sure that you're available. Tell them I will be available. If anything comes up during this closing, if they have any questions, call me and I will talk to you and I will work it out. Okay, sometimes this is the worst thing to have happen is a closing's happening at 2, you get a call at 3 and the attorney says, well, they left, they didn't sign. Oh, we've had that happen before. And we could have saved it. We could have called them. I mean, you can get them back in there, but it's a lot harder than just getting it worked out and having them sign it right on the spot. So call me, tell your attorney, call me if anything comes up in signing that you can't completely answer to make them feel comfortable. Don't wait till they leave and then call me and say it didn't work. Okay, so that's really an important one. Two more, guys. Two more on the attorney. These are really key tips. Again, especially if your attorney is not local and not somebody you've worked with before. Okay, if there is some actual issue in the signing, try to deal with it without, no muss, no fuss, I like to say. No fuss, no muss. Try to handle it without calling me, like I said. But call me anytime that something comes up that's you can't handle, because for sure I don't want. Now, number 10 is about before the closing. 11 is at the closing. Number 10, tell them if anything comes up along the way before they come in, call me. Don't call the seller or buyer. After that, at the signing, make sure to let me know when it is and call me if anything comes up wrong. And 12, just call me to let me know when the signings are complete. That's a peace of mind thing, and just your way to track it, make sure everything gets done properly, and quickly follow up if anything is not going right. Okay, so guys, that's really key tips. I know I went a little bit long today, but especially if you're working with a new attorney, these are really key tips. Now, again, if you don't have an attorney and you're just trying to find somebody, and I want you to try to get a referral from somebody from a real estate investing club. There's clubs all over. There's Club by You probably. And if you can get a referral from a club, that person already likes working with investors, so that's a plus. If you can't get a referral, yes, you can call right out of the, right off the internet and just get people's names and call them and just ask them, do you work with do you work with local investors? Do you do signings? How much do you charge? How quickly can you get people in? And if those are all acceptable answers, then you're going to go eventually into this. Now remember, I don't even really want you calling an attorney until you actually have a deal. That makes you look real. If you're calling them beforehand and just saying, hey, I'm trying to find an attorney, I'm doing some business around here, and they'll ask you some questions, they're pre-screening you too. Don't ever mention subject to an attorney, not until you've known them a while. Just tell them what we do is lease purchases. I start off with that. Just tell them what we do. We're a local investor, and we work with lease purchases. Have you ever done those before? Okay, good. And we also do some seller financing deals. How are you with those? Okay, great. So that's basically as much as I even want you to go. If they say, yeah, we can do lease purchases, we can do seller financing, we're cool with that. If they say yes to that, then move forward if you like the answers to the other questions. So I went a little bit deeper than I thought, and like I said, a little bit longer than usual, but awesome, really powerful information today on working with an attorney. And that is very important in your investing career this summer, because you're going to be working with an attorney for your signings this summer and forever after. So great to spend this time with you guys. It is Thursday, so we have Thursdays Live with the Wolves. That's at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, so definitely join us for that. And until we see you then, keep expecting success, getting awesome training, and taking lots of action. Yes.